CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV. Welcome to CBT News with Shyann Malone.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for watching CBT News. I'm Shyann Malone. On today's show, we are joined by Robin Garrett, CEO of Beamably. But first, here's a look at today's top automotive industry stories. Oh, new details are out. Cadillac is sharing some new features of the CT5V and the CT5V Blackwing luxury sedans. Yes, they are both slated to launch this summer. In a press release, the automaker noted the new vehicles featured lower profiles and more color selections even, as well as a new 33-inch touchscreen display. The models come equipped with a cutting-edge software suite, which includes a variety of performance analysis tools. The CT5V is equipped with 360 horsepower, while the Blackwing version of it has 668 horsepower under the hood. And Edmunds has announced its best vehicles for 2024, honoring the models that continue to set the standard for their segments. The Toyota Prius hybrid took the prize for best car, believe it or not. And in recognition of its widespread popularity and the growing demand for hybrids in the U.S., Edmunds split the electric vehicle segment into three parts. The BMW i5 placed first in the electric car category, the Kia EV9 placed first in the electric SUV category, and the Ford F-150 Lightning topped the list for electric pickup truck. Kia's Sportage hybrid was ranked as best overall SUV, while the Chevrolet Colorado took home the top award for truck. Tesla plans to launch an all-new entry-level electric vehicle in 2025. According to messages to suppliers obtained by Reuters, it's currently codenamed Redwood. The model appears to be an affordable compact crossover vehicle for the mass market segment. Apart from the Cybertruck, Tesla has gone several years without expanding its lineup, although CEO Elon Musk has said on multiple occasions he would like to launch a $25,000 model. Tesla, along with other EV manufacturers, is facing a demand crunch that has led to slashing prices over the last year. Vehicle valuations firm Black Book has partnered with electric vehicle insights platform Recurrent. They plan to develop the industry's first EV-specific value algorithm. Using Recurrent's data gathered from thousands of models, Black Book can now appraise used EVs based on key elements, such as battery condition. Until now, the valuations company, it was forced to adjust prices based on the same criteria it used for gas-powered models, such as odometer readings. Scott Case, CEO at Recurrent, commented, quote, EV batteries are holding up much better than many people expected, but the industry is realizing that the battery condition and resulting expected range are critical variables. Buying, selling, leasing, owning, or covering an EV without considering the battery is like valuing a combustion engine vehicle without knowing the odometer. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we'll have Robin Garrett, CEO of Beamably. She's here to discuss how dealers can create a happier work environment.
CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV.
So as an employer, a boss, a manager, an owner, an entrepreneur, how do you have a balance between having a happy workplace but productivity? Because stuff has to get done to make money at the end of the day.
Prioritization is a great way to approach that. A lot of businesses waste a huge amount of time on things that just don't generate anything. Like they'll have, for example, I was talking to somebody recently, and they're talking about their time tracking system. And the time tracking system is old and heavy and very time consuming for the employees. So you think about the thousands of person hours that are being wasted on that every month. Things like that are pulling away from your business. You've got people investing that time because you've told them that they have to. This is one of your responsibilities to work here. And you are essentially then shooting yourself in the foot because you're not then having them allocate the time that they do have, which is just the most precious resource, to work that really matters.
And your book, your intention when you wrote it, did you have more the employer in mind or an employee or both?
That is a great question. For me, it is definitely both. So I work in leadership. I'm a leadership consultant. I work with executives, organizations, CEOs. However, my priority is the people that work within the organizations. So a lot of times I'll get questions and it'll be from individual contributors, what's wrong with my business? And that's not the thing that I do. Is I work with the leaders of those businesses to kind of reshape, restructure, reform. And, everybody has the opportunity to make a difference within their culture. A culture is made up of people. So each person that you interact with, what they bring to the table, that eventually constitutes the culture. But the higher up in the organization, the more influence you have, the broader your impact can be. And so the book contains techniques. It's for aspiring managers all the way up to CEOs and board members, what they can do for their organization.
And what advice would you give just in general, right? If you're someone who's watching, you're an entrepreneur, an owner, and they want to do something almost immediately to improve their workplace, they just don't know where to start. What do you recommend?
So I would start with kind of some basics. Start with workloads, start with compensation. Those are two key areas. Again, if you haven't gotten them right, you're going to have significant struggles. Now, again, so you've given the example, right? You're talking about a CEO, a business owner, somebody who's really there in a position of power. And they do have the ability to influence or make decisions about workloads and priorities and compensation. Not everybody always has that privilege. If you're a first line manager, sometimes that's not the case. And you're going to have to go to bat with HR and all the levels and say, hey, the compensation with this particular level or position hasn't kept track with the market. And so we have a serious issue here. But if you're in a real position of power, you should be looking at those particular things really carefully because they're so fundamental. No matter what you do, if people are just drastically overworked and underpaid, it's not realistic to try to work on culture because it's just going to be impossible to get beyond that.
Well said. Any final thoughts for us before we say goodbye, Robin?
Yeah, I would say, I am really proud to work with people who are interested in this topic. One thing that I think the book does is help people to feel more kinship with others. Sometimes if you're a manager and you're within your organization and you're trying to be a proponent for good, you're trying so hard, it can feel like you're just beating your head against the wall. But there are so many people out there who do have their heart in the right place. And I see more organizations coming about that are invested in their employees, invested in their people. They do what they say. So I want to see more growth from those organizations. And I really want to support the people who do want to do this good work. It's hard work, but it is important.
And be sure to watch the full-length interview right here at cbtnews.com. Well, that does it for us today, but we do invite you right back here tomorrow morning on cbtnews.com. And remember, you can stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry by following us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content. CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV